Hey everybody, it's PDubs. Thanks as always for hanging out upstairs with us and for checking out the channel. And I was thinking to myself, wouldn't it be interesting if Arcade1Up released a brand new Data East cabinet, and what if that was an Arcade Legacy cabinet? That's right, a Data East cabinet in an Arcade Legacy form factor. If you guys remember, Arcade1Up does have a relationship with Data East. They did put out the BurgerTime arcade cabinet over a year ago. This particular cabinet did include 4 games: BurgerTime, Karate Champ, Caveman Ninja, and Bad Dudes. So Arcade1Up definitely has a relationship with them, but when it comes to these legacy cabinets, it seems like we're getting the same publishers on repeat. We're getting Capcom, we're getting Midway, and we're getting Bandai Namco. What about Data East? Data East, depending on the games you choose to put on this particular cabinet, Data East does have several really great arcade games. And in fact, if you do your research and if you look for magazine articles, YouTube videos, website articles about the top 50 arcade games of all time, usually there's a few Data East games mixed in, but of course that all depends on the bias of the publisher of that article or that content. But overall, there's no denying that there are some good Data East arcade games. And you'd have to think to yourself, well, what can Arcade1Up do? What can they put on a Data East arcade cabinet that would be interesting? Well, obviously, Data East has made a lot of vertical games, and they've made a lot of horizontal games back in the day when we were all growing up. So when it comes to vertical games, some really cool vertical games, let's say you just wanted to make it a vertical game only cabinet. You have plenty to choose from. Some of my top choices I would like to see on that cabinet, of course, would be BurgerTime. Obviously, Astro Fighter. Love that game. Obviously, Astro Fantasia. Obviously, I would also like to see Bump and Jump. Who doesn't like this? Lock and Chase, which is kind of like Pac-Man, but not really. You also have Karate Champ, which I would absolutely love to see on that cabinet. Peter Pepper's Ice Cream Factory would be fun. And, of course, Desert Assault when it comes to vertical games. But you might say, well, wait a minute, P-Dubs, there's a lot more vertical games than that. I do have some honorable mentions, but I think when it comes to online leaderboards, those games would be really, really cool to play if this was a leaderboard-only cabinet. Some honorable mentions, obviously, would include Treasure Island, B-Wings, Darwin 4078, and Super Real Darwin. All of those games are vertical games made by Data East, which would actually be pretty cool if they made it a vertical only cabinet. But let's say they're going to turn around, let's say they're going to make it a horizontal cabinet. Well, there's a ton of horizontal Data East games out there to potentially put on here. A lot of these games, what's interesting about the horizontal games is you could put these games on the cabinet for the sake of high score chasing for online leaderboards, or if you wanted to do co-op play and have 2 people playing together. So for instance, some of my top picks for horizontal games to put on this cabinet, if you wanted to make a horizontal version, or potentially mix and match horizontal and vertical games, provided they get the aspect ratios as good as possible to make the games look as good as possible. Because there's one thing we always complain about is when vertical and horizontal games are mixed and matched on a cabinet, provided they're in the proper aspect ratio, hopefully the games will look good. But for instance, Kung Fu Master would be great. Obviously, Windjammers. This game was developed by Data East. Would love to see this. This could also be an online co-op go-against-you game. Night Slashers, which is probably one of the best beat-em-ups that Data East did. They didn't do that many, but it's one of the best ones, and that would be fun to play. Bad Dudes vs. Dragon Ninja. I have to put that on there as well. And also, online co-op play with that would be super cool. Joe and Mac. They had Joe and Mac on the last arcade cabinet. So it would be very interesting to see that as well. That was on the BurgerTime cabinet. And of course, a couple of my other favorites I would love to see here for potential co-op play or just high score chasing would be Bloody Wolf and also Midnight Resistance. Would love to see those games as well. Now, when it comes to some of our honorable mentions, when it comes to horizontal games that are honorable mentions, you got Cobra Command, you got Road Blasters, you got Karnov, you got Karnov's Revenge, you got Boogie Wings, you got the Dark Seal games, Dark Seal 1 and 2, and then of course you have the Magical Drop games, which are personal favorites of mine. Those are all horizontal games as well. Magical Drop 1, 2, and 3. So when I think about the potential here, obviously, well, why haven't they done this yet? Are retailers just not interested in Data East? Are they not going to be able to sell these cabinets? Are the titles not big enough? Are the retailers not going to be interested? I mean, Burger Time, I would assume if they did this cabinet, it would probably, because Burger Time's probably the biggest Data East title, it would have to be another Burger Time cabinet in the Burger Time shape. If the retailers aren't interested in it, is that really a big deal anymore? Because as we know, Arcade1Up has the ability now where they're shipping direct, they're providing free shipping on their orders, and they could also just release and ship this cabinet themselves, etc. Now I know obviously Data East games are nowhere near as popular as Konami and Capcom and Midway Legacy and all that, and in fact you can find Data East games on nearly every video game platform out there. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys think it would be cool if Arcade1Up did a Data East Legacy cabinet, or even a Pro Series cabinet, although I would prefer just a Data East Legacy cabinet that was online, Wi-Fi enabled for either Wi-Fi or co-op play, depending on the games, as well as you put 14 games on there as well, just like the other newer Legacy cabinets coming out. And would you want it in Burger Time artwork, or would you want it in Karate Champ or Windjammers? Let me know, guys. Let me know what you guys think about this. I think this is interesting, and personally, I would like to see Arcade1Up do this, because there are a lot of Data East arcade games that I myself personally enjoy, but I want to know what you guys think. Leave those comments for me below after the video's over. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, give me a thumbs up on the way out. And as always, my dudes, thank you for subscribing.